Hey y'all, everybody's favorite bumpkin here. Well, the Campout is past, Halloween is a fond memory, and here we are bracing ourselves for the upcoming onslaught of Florida winter. I might even have to break out a hoodie this year, you never know. Well, yellow light. Oh shit, another yellow light. Anyway, as I was saying, we are firmly grasping and bracing ourselves for the icy grip of winter here in Florida. Hoodies and socks and, God forbid, shirts with sleeves are flying off the shelves as we speak. All the native Floridians down here say this is cold. Yeah. And here we are again, one GoPro battery later. You'd think I'd figure out I need to check shit like this before we start these little adventures, wouldn't you? Yeah, you know, but that just wouldn't quite be my style. So as I was saying, we are bracing ourselves for the icy death grip of winter here in Florida. Hoodies, closed-toed shoes, socks, God forbid, shirts with sleeves. Yeah, I mean, we're pulling out all the stops this year, guys. Now, I know I make light of this because we are fortunate enough to have a year-round riding season here in Florida. And don't even get me started on you guys out there that start whining and crying saying, oh, it's too hot to ride, it's above 80 degrees. Suck it up, buttercup. Once you get moving, you'll never feel it. And this guy is taking his dear sweet time. You would think Sunday drivers would have looked at the calendar and figured it out by now, but no. Anyway, I know a lot of you guys are having to make plans for winter to put the bike to bed, so to speak, you know, lay it up, because, yeah, legitimately, there are other parts of the country where, you know, yeah, it gets cold and it sucks. Now, how all this kind of comes full circle into the old tour glide here, aka Destiny. If you've got an older bike that you've happened to cross, or if, like you're like me, fortunate enough to blunder into a smoking ass shit hot deal of the century, but you're planning on making some updates to it, guess what, guys? Now is the time to start planning and executing those plans. Because a lot of you guys, you're going to be socked in with weather, you're going to be socked in with snow, ice, rain, basically all the ick that takes all the fun out of it. And let's be real here, okay? There's times where in other parts of the country, it just ain't safe to ride, okay? Now, I've done some pretty hairball shit over the years, you know. I mean, there's been more than a few times when we were living in eastern Oklahoma where I would be on my way home, and by the time I got there, I would be crunchy. Let's just leave it at that. Sometimes you just got to know when to say, you know what, enough's enough. I got thick skin, but I ain't got that thick of a head. It's time to park it for a little while. That is the time that you need to take advantage of right there, if at all possible, because that is the time to check off all of your to-do list items, if you will. And as much as I love it, and as cool as the damn thing is, the last 1,000 miles with Destiny here has definitely brought several shortcomings of the old girl to light, and that's something that we're going to be addressing as we go here, even though we don't really have a winter here in Florida. Let's pull over and wait for the ambulance here, shall we? Hope it works out, guys. I wish the best for you. I really do. Anyway, as I was saying, now is the time to start making plans and executing plans for your to-do list. Because, you know, as cool as this bike is, I rode this thing for basically 2 weeks solid, more or less, you know. And the Bastard Glide was getting a little bit lonely and was probably pondering on whether or not it needed to go on strike, so I had to show it a little bit of love. But one thing that was glaringly obvious after being off of the Roadstar for, let's call it 2 weeks, and then jumping back on it after being on the Tour Glide here, this bike is hideously low geared, okay? Now, granted, these bikes were designed, they were manufactured, and they were distributed back in a time where we had a 55-mile-an-hour interstate speed limit nationwide. And you know what? It worked good for them. But also, they designed these bikes as kind of a compromise between performance, longevity, comfort, rideability, and also the ability to haul heavy loads, i.e., to potentially well-nourished individuals, along with all their crap that they want to stick in the saddlebags and use a plethora of bungee cords to strap onto every conceivable mounting point that there's available on the back of the motorcycle. Because we all know that everybody follows that maximum load rating in their owner's manual to a T. We all do that, right? Yeah, I didn't think so. So anyway, that's why these bikes were kind of low geared, all right? And that's one thing that we can change relatively easily on these motorcycles as we equip them to live in the new world with us. Now, a couple of these changes are something that's fairly simple to do from a DIY standpoint. You can do them at your house, especially if you're kind of a hands-on handy guy and you like to do your own maintenance. But then again, if you got to take it into a shop to have it done, they're not terribly expensive. Not hugely so. I mean, granted, they're not free, but, you know, it's nothing that's going to make you dig into the deep, dark corners of the wallet. At least not yet. We'll get into that, but we ain't going there yet. We're taking baby steps here, guys, because after all, we are a low-budget production here at JTMJ. Uh-oh. Oh, this looks bad. Yeah, that's not good. Hope it works out for you guys. So since we have a bit of a pause in the road here, let me kind of tick off the boxes. Number one, first and foremost, this bike runs good. It runs very well. It gets decent gas mileage. I mean, I'm averaging about 37, 38 mile a gallon on this, and that's if I drive it pretty. And y'all know me, I'm not real big on driving pretty. But the biggest thing that bothers me is whenever I'm commuting on this bike, if I'm commuting in the 75 to 80 mile an hour, you know, speed suggestion range like I typically tend to do, I'm turning a lot of RPM on this thing. And you know what? The bike will eat it all day long. It's smooth. It's not overtaxing the bike, but it just doesn't feel right to me, okay? And also, on top of that, it makes me wonder, can I potentially get a little bit more fuel mileage out of this bike due to it being more efficient? And by efficiency, I mean not only turning less RPM, but actually making more power than what it does right now. So, follow along on the grand experiment, because this is something that's going to unfold over a couple of different videos, and it's going to take me a few weeks to get it done, because, you know, I got other stuff I'm doing at the same time, you know, like work and occasionally sleep, and oh yeah, we've still got a shovel head at the house that we're building too. So a big part of this, the build that we're doing on Destiny here, this is going to be quick and dirty stuff, and we're probably going to be doing the majority of this at the Ride Factory, because guess what, kids, I am slap ass out of room in the temple right now. Now I'm going to take advantage of a little known secret that most people here obviously do not know. It's called a parking lot. We're taking a detour. The reason why we're taking a detour, we're going that way. And just like that, all was right in the world. Now, like I said, gang, starting out, we're going to be doing some relatively simple bolt-on mods that pretty much anybody can do. Now, later on, yeah, I'll freely admit, we're going to be digging deep into Destiny here. We're going to be cracking open the motor, but when it's all said and done, basically we're going to build a fairly rip snorty Evo motor, and we're going to put it in a touring chassis. But the thing is, we're going to hide that shit to where it looks stone cold stock, just like it did from 1988 when it was born. Now let me pause my rant ever so slightly here, because right now we're on our way to my favorite local car wash. That way we can do a little bit of cleanup on the old girl here, because, well, you know, a couple things. Going to the Campout, running around and doing things at the Campout, and then post-Campout, going back and forth to work for a few days. I know, the dreaded W. And when also I had to lay waste to an entire ecosystem yesterday. I mean, I slew my enemies and I cut them to the bone. I mowed my yard. That's what I did. And I got a lot of grass and crap that blew all over Destiny here. And you know what? I kind of feel bad about that because of how good this bike looks and in as good a condition it's in. So I'm going to do something that I never do for the Bastard Glide. And it's probably going to resent me for this for the rest of my life. We're going to the car wash. We get in the bath. Think of it as a spa day for the new girl, okay? You gotta treat them right, keep them moving. What? Yeah, that's not normal. Hey man, what can I say? 38 years old, you're gonna have a couple of quirks to you. So over the course of the past week or so, our slight pushrod leak, it's been maintaining its slight status, but you can see the spooge that's growing here. So therefore, between the pushrod tube leak, the typical Harley oil mist from the crankcase breather, which we will address in the very near future because I don't like things that mark their territory, and also the errant grass clippings from the chlorophyll genocide that I bestowed upon my front yard yesterday. The wind was not in my favor, y'all. What can I say? And yeah, I moved the bikes, but you know, here we are. Now, this shit right here, LA's totally awesome. It's stupid cheap. You can get it at any dollar store. They sell it at Walmart too. This stuff is an awesome all-purpose cleaner. It's good for a degreaser. It's good for getting spooge off, road grime, funk, stuff like that. It doesn't beat your paint up. However, one thing you do need to be careful of, if you've got polished aluminum, like on the fork lowers here, or on the wheels, don't spray it on there because it tends to haze aluminum and leave that white chalky crap on there. Not a good look, and it's a lot more shit that you got to deal with on the backside. But for what we're doing right here, totally fine. And while we're at it, we'll go ahead and get this side too. Still got a few of my grubby deck beater prints on it from whenever I put the return spring in the transmission. Shame on me. Oof. This is the non-glamorous side of YouTube and they never tell you about. Ah, crap. Well, damn it. You'd think I'd look for shit like that before I pull into a place. But you know what? I'm a closet Luddite and I always carry cash. Come to think of it, these singles here may have been in between the cheeks of another Destiny at another point in time. And it may have been under an entirely different set of circumstances. Damn, $3 to start? They're getting proud here. Man, $3 for 5 minutes at a car wash. When the hell did my ass get this old? See that ugly ass inspection sticker there? Yeah, that's got to go. Oh yeah, and we got this nifty new blue license plate for Destiny too. That in itself is a whole nother story that I will explain to y'all shortly. That was an ordeal, let me say. Ah, bird poop, be gone. Oh yeah, and we got them snazzy fancy LED headlights in there now, but they don't look like they're LED headlights. Well, you know, I told you guys that I was going to show you how I did that, and unfortunately I didn't have a camera handy at the time and I had about 6% left in my phone. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Now I know there's some purists out there that are probably clutching their pearls right about now because they see me using a car wash on a Harley. Well, you know what? If you're not totally dumb and you don't get, you know, like right down like 2 inches away from what you're spraying, it's totally fine. Just be mindful about, you know, the common stuff, you know, like your wheel bearings right there. You don't want to get real close to them. And let's see here, your hand controls right there. You don't want to get too close to them. As long as you keep a safe distance away, you're totally fine doing this. Besides, if you got stuff that's caked on that bad and that grubby and grody, You need to break down, bust out the scrub bucket and the sponge, do it the right way. This is just a quickie spray off to where I can kind of nail down where I got a couple of small oil leaks on this thing, and you know, see where that's stemming from to add it to the to-do list. And the car wash is bitching at me. 12 quarters don't get you that far anymore these days, kids. I hate to say it, but that's the simple truth of it. And a little bit of spot free, just where we can feel better about ourselves. Gotta be careful with the radio. You gotta protect the tunes. And we're out of quarters. Poop. If y'all get that joke, you're a sinner just like me. Whew, now I'm sleepy. If y'all get that joke, you're a sinner just like me. It's always a good idea to start them up and let them clear their throat a little bit right after you get done giving them a bath. And for those that do not care to partake of the wet ass syndrome ritual, always keep a spare t-shirt in your tour pack. Speaking of t-shirts, hey, y'all know this chick right here? Yeah. Hell of a good friend of mine. She's a beaut, man, let me tell you. Here in a little bit, I'll show you guys some post-camp out video we took. That way I could do my part to further and progress international relations with our frostback neighbors from up north. But see, LED headlights. Full truth here, it only took me 4 damn tries to get some light housings that would actually fit in the buckets on this bike. That was kind of a trick, but even then they didn't entirely fit on their own. Had to do a little bit of trimming here and there. Thank you, good sir. You know, it's my only gripe about this bike. Well, I got a few, and they're all small, and I know that I'm, you know, I know I'm probably being a Karenite here, but this bike's got an aftermarket turn signal flasher in there. It's one of the Badlands unit, and it works great to a point. My big bitch about it is your turn signals only stay on for 10 seconds at a time. After that, they automatically cancel because these are a time-based unit and they don't read the read switch here in the stock speedometer to where you got to constantly keep your turn signal going if you're stuck here in a turn lane or at a long light or something like that. It's kind of annoying. And this is one of those things where even though the aftermarket saw a need and they filled a need, I think they kind of took a step backwards because they didn't use the counter from that read switch, because now your auto cancel doesn't work the way it, you know, you're normally accustomed to it working. You got to constantly sit here, poke the button, make it blink for a little bit. Oh, whoa, it quit blinking. Poke the button again, on into infinitum. So I'm probably going to look around and see if I can find an OG Harley turn signal module for this thing, and we'll put that Badland module on the shelf for a rainy day. Now that's a far stretch from what I would call boogity speed, but you know what? We're going to deal with that too. It's just going to take us a little while. Don't get me wrong. For what it is, this thing runs beautiful. But you got to realize, we're talking about 40-plus-year-old Harley Evo technology. This was actually the last motor that Harley produced that came from the factory with the old-school butterfly key carburetor like came out on the shovel heads and the iron heads for years. I know. I've got it in a box at the house. Now, here very shortly, we're going to be getting this S&S controlled fuel leak off the side of the bike. So not only is it going to run a little better, it's going to be a lot more precise, and also we're probably going to squeeze a little bit more gas mileage out of it too. That'll definitely help. Y'all know me, I love my Makunis. Now the thing is, they say that you can't use a Makuni on this generation of FL and FLT because the gas tank's shaped. I say bullshit. by hook or crook, one way or the other, we're going to have a flat slide on Destiny here. But the thing is, we're going to do a really good job of hiding it to where unless you're just really poking around in places that you shouldn't be until after at least the second date, you'll never see it. Here's the plan. We're here at Disney. We got Red Ryder here with us, and we are introducing her to Americanized funnel cake.
Funnel cake.
So the basic plan is we're going to get her all sugared up, and then we're going to go on throw-up rides. Perfect. All right, so check it out, gang. Now that we're all sugared up from breaking her in on her first funnel cake ever, I think I'm going to take a little bit of pity on her, and before we go on any really cool throw-up rides, we're going to go check out the yay old Indiana Jones stunt show, because every kid from the 80s remembers Indy, and everybody wanted the hat when they were a kid. I know I did. Well, she's figuring it out that you can actually fly that. And it was cool, wasn't it?
Yeah, we didn't die.
Yeah, we didn't fly too good.
We didn't die.
We didn't die.
We didn't die.
Right? Okay, so thoughts and opinions on Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and Star Wars Rise of the Resistance.
Really good.
Yeah. Works for me too.
Way better than the movie. Actually, probably almost as good as the movie.
Yeah, because your floor's not all sticky and you don't find popcorn down your shirt.
Yeah.
What's that? Moving on. Toy Story time. Okay, kids, we're slightly soggy and just a wee bit waterlogged from getting rained out here at Disney's Hollywood Studios. But you know what? In for a penny, in for a pound. So we're going to double down on the dumb and we're going to Magic Kingdom because there's more stuff inside you can do and that's not shut down because of the rain.
And we're not soggy enough yet.
Yeah, not yet, not entirely. All right, check it out. We're going to try an unofficial, unplanned, and unannounced Disney After Dark episode here. So, we're soggy, it's raining, sun's going down. What could possibly go wrong, right?
Everything.
Everything. There's always room for failure. Okay, one chubby hillbilly, one stubby Canadian. Let's see what we can do with Space Mountain. So, what do you want to do? You want to do roller coasters?
Yeah.
Okay, roller coasters we got. Check. Tried to talk her out of it, and she wouldn't listen, so we're doing It's a Small World. Just remember, at the end of the day, I want everybody to know this was your idea. It was totally her idea.
A few moments later.
So since the car wash is just a scant 3 miles up the road from the house, we're going to kind of take the long and circuitous route getting back. That way I can give Destiny here a proper blowout after getting her hair done. That's the proper thing to do, you know. That and also it's a lot better sounding version than, hey, I'm lazy and I don't keep a chamois in my tour pack because, you know, I'm not all that fancy and I'm not that addicted to polishing chrome. So yeah, there's that. Okay, we're back in the temple. And now that I have a cup of happy anti-murder death kill adulting juice, yeah, I'm a little bit less scattered right now. So anyway, like what I was talking about, we've identified a few common areas and common complaints with, let's say, older vintage Harley motorcycles, okay? Now let's talk about a couple of mods that we're going to do on Destiny here in the coming weeks and everything to kind of bring it into the modern era, so to speak, all right? I mean, right now Destiny's got moves, but she got stubby little legs, so we're going to give her some legs. Quickest, easiest way to do that for low buck investment, especially if you're a handy do-it-yourself type or you feel like taking it on, motor sprocket, right there. Now, this is out of the old shovel head that's back here behind me, and the reason it's wearing a blanket right now, it's because of the cold, frozen tundra that Florida is swiftly becoming in the wintertime months. Actually, y'all know that's absolute bullshit, okay? It's t-shirt weather, it's beautiful outside. For you guys that's upstate, up north, you know, hey, I feel for you, I feel your pain. I used to live that life, all right? But if you're planning on being stuck in the garage all winter long waiting on the thaw, here's some stuff you might want to think about now, starting with this. motor sprocket. Like I said, dollar per dollar, this is probably the cheapest way that you're going to bring the RPMs down on any Harley motorcycle, especially a big twin or a bagger, you know, like Shovelhead, you know, Tour Glide, Electric Glide, yada, 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 on into Infinium. Lighter bikes like FXRs, Dynas, Softails, they respond to this a lot better because they don't have the same bulk that we're toting around, okay? Now what this does, a stock motor sprocket has 24 teeth on it. You can get these that are 25 teeth. By adding one tooth to this, this will slightly increase your final drive ratio to where it brings your RPMs down just a little bit. It's not a whole lot, but every little bit helps. Thing is, you can buy these brand new out of the box for 50 bucks. I really wouldn't recommend buying a used one because, number one, there ain't that many of them out there. Number two, where? Let me show you. See these ramp angles right here? If you look close, you can see how they're really polished up and pretty on this side right here, but not so much on this side right here. This is the old motor sprocket out of the Shovelhead here. And we swapped that out for a whole brand-ass new compensator because that one had definitely seen better days. This is why I don't recommend getting one of these used, especially considering they're 50 bucks. Now the thing is it worth it to buy one and go into the primary specifically for the sole purpose of putting one more tooth on that motor sprocket? No, not really. But if you've got a leak you got to deal with, if you're planning on putting a clutch in or doing any kind of upgrades like that, you got to put a new tensioner shoe in, or if you just want, or if you have a stator that smokes down kind of like what I did, yeah, it's a good time to do it because you're going to be right there and chances are you're probably going to have it loose anyway. Where you can pick up a little bit more, and this is what I intend to do with Tour Glide, a stock transmission pulley is 32 tooth on your big twins, at least Evo era big twins. You can replace that with a 34 tooth front pulley. So we're going to do the double whammy on Destiny. She's going to get the old 1-2. I know what you're thinking. Just don't. Mom's probably watching this right now. And that's also why I'm wearing the hat, because I got a haircut because my mom called me and asked me if I would get a haircut because my hippie head was bothering her. Her words, not mine. So yeah, Mom, I got a haircut. No, I ain't going to let you see it on camera, okay? I look like a dork. Anyway, by going to a 34 tooth pulley, it's the same thing as adding a tooth or so to a front sprocket in a chain drive application. Now, if you do a 34 tooth pulley and a 25 tooth motor sprocket, that's going to get you some serious RPM reduction because between the two of them, that's going to bring your cruising RPM down roughly about 375 to 400 RPM, depending on what your rear tire size is and also depending on what your rear pulley tooth count is. That's whenever it's worth it to go in there because you're taking RPM off the motor, you're taking strain off the drivetrain, and also you're probably going to save a little bit of gas and you're probably going to shake out a few less bolts as you bumble your way down the road. Now, the deficit to that is it's going to feel like you got to slide the clutch just a little bit more taking off from a stop sign. Or if you're having to take off from a dead stop going uphill, you're going to be slipping the clutch just a little bit more. Or if you're a well-nourished feller like myself, or if you ride a lot of two-up and you just absolutely have to throw everything that you possibly can in your saddlebags, including the kitchen sink, that's when you need to start looking at making some power modifications to offset that deficit from that higher gear ratio. And that's something that we're going to be doing on Destiny as well. Evo motor, it's a blank slate. There's billions and gazillions of upgrade and hop up and performance parts out there. So all you got to do is bust out the credit card and just start ordering shit, right? Not so much. You got to plan this stuff out, guys. Think about what your goal is, think about what your intent is, and think about what compromises you're willing to make, okay? Now, we're not going to dive into the motor mod list on Destiny right here, right now. That's going to be for a later video. But there's going to be some nerdy math and some sciencey shit in that. So stay tuned. It'll make your head hurt. I'm going to warn you right now. So anyway, that's where we are right now, gang. I'll be totally honest with you. Didn't take any, I took maybe a grand total of about, 10 minutes worth of video at the camp out. honestly, I had people taking video of me more than I took a video of the whole damn event. But you know what? We went out there. We had a damn good time. It was great seeing old friends, and it was awesome making new ones. And speaking of awesome people and awesome friends, I got to put a big shout out right now to Rocketman 48. Apparently, me and the wife unit have become somewhat of a poster child, if you will, for how a functioning couple should be. I don't know, and yeah, she's laughing her ass off right now off camera, okay? I don't know how anybody got a hold of that bizarre notion, but you know what? We're going to roll with it because we've been hanging out with each other for damn near 30 years now, 28 to be exact. I gotta put out big props for Rocket Jock, okay? Because y'all know my wife was involved in a wreck here a couple of months ago, and she's recovering, she's recouping. She's still not talking all that great, but you know, every day is a new game. For everybody that encouraged her and backed her whenever she jumped up on the stage and grabbed a hold of the mic during karaoke on Saturday night, thank you. Greg Forehand, brother, I owe you, man. I owe you from the depths of my heart. I do. But Rocket Man 48, he was at the Campout last year, and he saw a side of me and the wife unit that most people don't see ever, and especially here on the tubes. But he took a picture, and then he did something with it, and he presented it to me and the wife unit as a gift. And it was something that was truly touching, and also it makes this crazy little YouTube world that we all live in feel just a little bit smaller and a lot grander, all on the same page. Check it out, gang. Still got the old lady, still got the shirt, but I got a hell of a lot more friends, and I got a lot more love for people out there that, you know, choose to tag along with us in this crazy little adventure called life. Thank you, brother. That means more to me and her than I could ever possibly explain. Now that the campout is over and done with, and also we got to start pre-gaming, if you will, for winter projects, Daytona 26, because you can bet your ass we're going. And oh yeah, also we got a shovelhead that we got to finish up, because to be honest with you, I'm woefully behind on this thing, and I got to start burning midnight oil just a little bit, because I want to get this bike done. I need to free up some space in the garage, and I need to get the man his motorcycle back. So yeah, stay tuned, y'all. That's coming up here damn soon. Just remember, guys, I love you. I appreciate the hell out of you. And for every single one of you awesome ass people that I got the chance to meet, hang out with, drink a beer with, hug, you know, do whatever in the hell with out at Weirdos Campout here the past week. It was a hell of a good time, and I look forward to seeing y'all here in 6 months. Spring of 26, baby. Let's get it ready and get it going again.
Force will be with you, always.